Hello everyone, welcome to our deep dive where we explore big ideas shaping our world. Today we're examining manifest destiny, an old concept from the 19th century that's making a surprising comeback in modern politics. We'll focus on Donald Trump's use of manifest destiny for terrestrial and cosmic expansion, and why this matters for international relations and space exploration in the 21st century.
So, manifest destiny originally meant the United States had a God-given right to expand across North America. It fueled westward expansion in the 1800s, often displacing indigenous peoples. But now we see it popping up again in ways we never expected.
Exactly. Trump has referenced everything from reclaiming the Panama Canal to acquiring Greenland, to hinting at expansion into Canada. These ideas echo the old manifest destiny mindset. And it's not just Trump or the US. Other powers like China with its Belt and Road Initiative are also pursuing modern expansionist agendas.
Let's talk specifics. We've heard about Trump's supposed interest in buying Greenland from Denmark back in 2019, and talk of reclaiming the Panama Canal, and then annexing Canada as a 51st state. Where do those claims stand?
They're controversial. Many of these ideas didn't move beyond preliminary statements or media headlines, but they're symbolic. They send a message that the US, under Trump's leadership, was willing to revisit historical ownership or expand into new territories. That's the core thread tying these scattered claims together, the revival of an expansionist ideology to justify broader ambitions.
The real eyebrow raiser is how manifest destiny has gone off-world. Trump talked about planting the US flag on Mars and established the Space Force. How does 19th century expansionism translate to Mars colonization?
It's the same rhetoric of frontier conquest. NASA, SpaceX, and other private companies are pushing toward Mars, but if we see it as a zero-sum race, who gets there first, who owns it, we risk repeating old patterns of territorial thinking. This is where the 1967 Outer Space Treaty comes in, declaring space as the province of all humankind. But it's outdated. Back then, nobody imagined private players like SpaceX or resource mining on asteroids.
Exactly. We need to update and enforce frameworks beyond the 1967 treaty. For instance, the Artemis Accords, introduced by NASA, aim to set guidelines for lunar and Mars activities among partner nations. But international adoption varies, and there's controversy over resource extraction and how private companies will be regulated. Investigating how effective these new frameworks are is crucial to avoid a cosmic Wild West.
So the real question is whether global agreements can keep pace with the rapid growth of private spaceflight and national ambitions.
Space exploration isn't just a vanity project. It has significant economic returns. Historically, the Apollo program generated about $7 for every dollar invested, sparking innovations and entire new industries. Modern efforts, like NASA's Commercial Crew Program or space-based internet constellations, continue that trend, creating high-tech jobs, spin-off technologies, and vital data for tackling Earth's challenges, like climate change.
So investigating current data on these investments can show us how space exploration benefits not just the United States but global economies as well.
One major critique of manifest destiny, old or new, is that it overlooks indigenous knowledge and respect for the land. How do these perspectives factor into space policy?
Indigenous philosophies emphasize interconnectedness, stewardship, and respect for nature, offering a stark contrast to exploitative expansion. Incorporating these values in space policy could shift our focus from conquering new worlds to caring for them. Some of today's indigenous-led environmental movements and debates like the telescope construction on Mauna Kea in Hawaii show how vital it is to listen to these voices before we treat celestial bodies as mere resources.
So part of our action plan involves examining how indigenous wisdom might guide sustainable exploration, seeing ourselves as stewards, not just conquerors. Despite nationalist competition, we do see international cooperation. Take the International Space Station, a partnership of multiple nations, or the emerging dialogues around resource sharing on the Moon. Still, there's tension between cooperation and rivalry. Investigating how well these frameworks work can help us understand if we're truly moving toward a shared cosmic future or sliding back into old Manifest Destiny 2.0 mindsets.
That's an important action item. Evaluate how international bodies and agreements, like the ISS program, the Artemis Accords, and the UN Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, are handling modern challenges, including commercial exploitation and national rivalry.
Critics ask, why invest billions in space when we have hunger, poverty, and climate crises at home?
It's a fair question, but space research directly impacts Earth, monitoring climate change through satellites, creating innovative materials, generating STEM education, and boosting economies. It's not an either-or. We can, indeed must, address both Earth's urgent needs and our push into space responsibly.
Which brings us to the heart of the matter. What kind of legacy do we want to leave? If we adopt an unchecked Manifest Destiny mindset again, whether for land or the cosmos, we risk repeating our darkest historical mistakes. However, if we choose cooperation, stewardship, and shared governance, space could become a unifying frontier, inspiring humanity to work together.
Ultimately, the future of expansion, on Earth or on Mars, depends on the values we bring to the table. We can't just let history repeat itself, we have to learn from it.
So here's what we need to keep exploring. 1. Trump's terrestrial claims. Understand the historical and current context behind talks of reclaiming the Panama Canal, acquiring Greenland, or annexing Canada. 2. Modern space law. Investigate and update frameworks like the Outer Space Treaty, and examine newer initiatives, like the Artemis Accords, to see how they handle private companies and resource extraction. 3. Economic research. Delve deeper into today's ROI from space programs, analyzing whether claims of high returns still hold and how they benefit society. 4. Indigenous and ethical perspectives. Explore how traditional stewardship values can inform ethical, sustainable space policies and prevent exploitative frontiers. 5. International cooperation. Assess the effectiveness of current global partnerships, ISS, UN committees, bilateral treaties, in fostering a collaborative cosmic future.
Together, these steps can help us navigate Manifest Destiny 2.0. Are we repeating a troubling past, or forging a new path based on collaboration and responsible exploration?
We invite you to dive deeper, do your own research, discuss with friends, and share your insights. The cosmos offers infinite possibilities, but our choices will determine whether we build a future of inclusion and discovery, or one of competition and conquest.
Thanks for joining us in this deep dive. If this discussion sparked new questions, drop them in the comments below. Remember, space isn't just out there somewhere, it's our next chapter. Let's write it together.
Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and above all, let's make sure we learn from the past as we reach for the stars.